All right, guys, well, it is a new day out here. It is incredibly snowy. Another huge snowstorm in northern Wisconsin. Yesterday rain, today snow. We're gonna try to answer some stuff on ice conditions, but we're actually out here today doing some crappie fishing, scouting out a little bit different area today, and yeah, just kind of seeing what the fish do and making sure we kind of got them on lockdown for the coming weeks here. But I gotta start punching some holes. We're in a deep basin here. We're hoping there's gonna be kind of fish roaming around. But yeah, I'm gonna quit talking. We gotta punch some holes. We're crappie fishing. We're testing a new jig today, which I've never tried, from Acme. The hammer tungsten jig. Very cool. It throws a ton of light. Gets noticed from a long ways away, so it should be perfect for these basin crappies. But I'm gonna stop talking. I gotta punch some holes in this little area here, and we'll start seeing if we can find some fish and hopefully catch a whole bunch of blizzard crappies today. All right, guys, so like I was saying, I'm gonna be fishing a new jig by Acme today, the Acme Hammer Tungsten Jig. Now, Acme's been making tungstens for several years now. They make one called like the Pro Tungsten, which is in a ton of great color schemes, which is kind of your standard tungsten jig. They have a whole bunch of great paint and different jig sizes. Now, the other new one for this year, which I've been doing some videos on, is the rattling tungsten jig. And basically what this is, it's your tungsten jig, bunch of great colors, but it's got a little glass rattle chamber inside that knocks as you're jigging it, which is a great jig too. Now, the last one, which we're fishing today, which is new for this year, is the hammer tungsten jig. Now, I have them in several different color schemes here. Your silvers, your coppers, and your golds, all natural colors. Now, the best part about a hammered jig, or any really metallic bait that is hammered, you know, like musky fish, we fish a lot of hammered bucktail blades. The reason for that is it throws off a ton of light. Your standard bucktail blade, which is all kind of the same shape all the way around, it's only throwing so much light. A hammered blade throws light in all sorts of different directions, gets a ton of light that hits it and throws it all over the place. So it's has a ton of attracting qualities anytime light's hitting it. So really, whether we're fishing deep water panfish and there's a little bit of light penetration down there deep, or whether we're fishing shallow water bluegills in the weeds, having something that has that attracting quality that throws light all over the place in these natural color schemes is normally a great deal. So we're going to tie one of those on, probably in the 5 mil. Two sizes that I fish the most are 3 mil for either if I'm fishing really shallow or finicky fish, or a 5 mil a lot of times I'm fishing these basin fish. So we're gonna strap a gold on, because if you follow this channel enough, you know I love everything that's gold. And we're gonna throw a little panfish plastic on the back and get to work. Oh, there he is. First one on. And it feels like a good one on that hammered tungsten. It definitely feels like the right kind out here in a blizzard today. Nobody else out. And there's the first one of the day. And he wanted that tungsten. Look at that thing, just down his hatch. That is exactly what we like to see. As you can see on the graph, there's just more and more of them down there. So we're gonna fire right back down right away. So it took me all of about 12 seconds to catch one on that thing. But that is exactly what we want to see down there. Getting back into the zone here now. I always like to kind of camp it a few feet up above them, like right in here. Sometimes those active ones will sit up top. Oh my gosh, and here they come. Ready? 3, 2, 1, fish on. That is too much fun. And this is another quality fish. He's got that beaver dam glass noodle just doubled over. Another nice basin crappie. Nothing huge, but if you're keeping fish, these would be the absolute perfect ones. And that one is just choked. I don't know anywhere you can go crappie fish where fish won't eat gold. It is just an absolute standby. I can barely even get this one out of his mouth. Come on, buddy. Pop you out of there. We got more fish to catch here. He just really has it pinned in there. Can knock it out. There we go. I need one of those Tease toothpick things. Tease toothpicks, if you're watching, send me one over. All right, here comes one coming up. And got him on. Doesn't feel like a giant, but doesn't feel too bad. Whenever you got a pile of fish like that down there, it is always a good time. I haven't even really set my big camera up yet. Figured I'd just do the flasher cam and the GoPro for a little bit here, because it's kind of a halfway rain, halfway snow, whatever you want to call this. fire that tungsten back down. There's a few reasons why tungstens are so awesome to fish with. One is that they get down super fast. Whenever you're fishing deep water, I mean, you want to be able to fire that jig down just as quick as you can to get down to fish like this. Number two, gets your line super tight. I always say when you're walleye fishing in a boat that you want to keep that line as tight as you can, or you want to fish the heaviest jig you can. Keep that line tight because you have a lot more sensitivity when you have a tight line. They're obviously walleye fishing. There's a lot of times you want to use light jigs too, but when we're vertical fishing like this, you can kind of control the fall rate when you're actually presenting the lure to the fish. But fishing a tungsten keeps your line very tight, which means you're going to feel and see a lot more of the bites. You know, most of the time you're not feeling for a bite when you're pan fishing or crappie fishing. You're looking at the tip of your rod. So under the weight of this jig, it loads my rod tip up a little bit. So when that tip either comes down obviously or goes up more, you know, you're looking for that visual bite. And most panfish rods like this Beaver Dam Glass Noodle have a bright tip. This one's got a bright orange tip, so you can obviously kind of look and see for a bite like this. All right, here we go. Here's one coming up good. And there we go, fish back on, and that feels like another solid one. You know, I've been sitting here working this school for a little bit now, and a lot of times if the top of that school kind of dies out or I'm not getting bites, basically what I'll do is just, there's a nice crappie there, drop down kind of right into the middle of the school and pull it out and kind of see what follows me out. But there's a nice about 10.5 inch northern Wisconsin crappie there. We'll let him go. All right, guys, today I'm fishing with a new product from Acme. This is the hammered tungsten jig. We already got a fish just flying up here. And there he is. Now what a hammered tungsten jig is, it's the same great tungsten jig that's Acme's been making for a while now, but in a hammered finish like you can see here. Now a hammered finish jig, it has these dimples in it which attracts or reflects a lot of light at the same time. And you know, whether I'm fishing a musky bait, that's a musky bucktail that's got a hammered blade or a hammered finish, or if I'm fishing, you know, a tumbler spoon for walleyes in the winter, that hammered finish throws a lot of light and looks a lot like a natural bait fish pattern. And anytime I'm fishing under the ice like I am now, I love hammered finish baits. I love anything real metallic. I love golds, and having that extra reflective characteristic, that hammered finish, throws a lot of light down there. All right, so I got a few down there. I drop all the way down to them here. Just moved holes. A lot of times your best time to catch one is the first time they see your jig. Kind of stall it out up above them. Hammer that thing in place. We'll do a little pull away here. As you can see, we got them coming. And there they are. The first drop a lot of times is the best time to catch one. A lot of times if you kind of sit over the same ones, I'll leave fish a lot of times in a hole. You know, if I can see, you know, if I've already caught, nice crappie. If I've already caught several out of that same spot, I'll, and then they're just not showing that same kind of aggression, I'll keep moving around to basically find some more active ones. All right, you guys can see them down there. They're elevated a little bit, which is normally good. Normally, if you can drop on several at one time, you know, it's tempting to always drop on every fish you see. But a lot of times when I'm kind of going around checking holes, I'll bypass holes that only have like one fish in it. Because if you can get a hole that has a few fish, most of the time they're much more active, and that feels like a good one there. Like that. A lot of times you get them to supercharge up like that, you guys can see on the graph. And you are much more prone to catch a whole bunch of them. All right, guys, well, that is going to do it for today. Had a pretty good short afternoon out here. You know, I kind of wanted to come out and you know, check a spot to make sure the fish were still here, and then check another spot to make sure there were fish there, and there were fish in both. So very productive. Caught a ton of crappies on the new Acme hammered tungsten jig. I'll go ahead and link everything I use down below, just because I always get asked every single time in every single video. So if you guys are new here, thanks for watching. If you've been here for a long time, thanks for watching. I'm not sure where we're going to be next, what we're going to be fishing for. We got some trips planned here in the near future to Minnesota, which is always exciting. Doing some walleye fishing, but I'm not sure we're going to be there in the next video. or a couple videos down the road. So as far as ice conditions go, I know I talked a little bit about it, but basically what we have on every lake is something that looks like this. A little bit of snow, a little bit of slush. Some lakes are slushier than others. If you guys are coming to the Hayward area, the Chippewa flowage is always one of the slushiest lakes because it is a flowage. But you know, you gotta be checking ice very thoroughly, really, no matter where you are right now. And yeah, that's kind of the deal. So I'm gonna have to get packed up, get out of here on the wheeler, and yeah, go home, edit some film, and see where we're gonna be next time. Thanks for watching.